Hey guys, it's Maria Park, and welcome to our Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow live stream review. Ah, this week, guys, I have to say, I know I said last week, in terms of Batwoman, that last week's episode was probably my favorite, but I think this one is definitely my favorite because it deals with stuff that we saw coming, especially in terms of Alice and Alice's relationship with her twin, but we'll get to that in a second. But I wanted to start off by reviewing Legends of Tomorrow because Legends of Tomorrow was just as on crack, but I think I'll spend more time on Batwoman. So without doing a full recap, we have two scenarios going on. We still have Sarah that's on the planet, the crash landed planet, her and Gary, that they were on last week, where she got literally bitten by morphed out alien version of Amelia Earhart. And so she's got like this toxic stuff going on in her bloodstream. Not sure exactly what it signifies or what it's supposed to be, but she's not doing well. And if you remember 2 episodes ago, premiere episode of season 6 for Legends of Tomorrow, we realized that Gary is an alien, and Kayla, I think her name was Kayla, is her fiance, and they have their true forms have these tentacles, and they're able to basically eat other things and basically people. So at the end of the last episode, we saw that Sarah was down, and then we saw a lot of lights. It looked like a bunch of flashlights, or we wouldn't know if they were we didn't know what they were, but they're coming closer. So where this episode picks up, the lights are almost to them, and Gary's trying to get Sarah to move, but she's too weak from being, poisoned to do anything. So she tells Gary it's up to him, and he's like, "What? I'm not a fighter." She's like, "Yeah, but you can eat people, or you can, just eat them." And I love the banter between Gary and Sarah, because Gary at this point is like me. I don't eat meat, and he's like, "I haven't had meat in like forever. You're telling me to eat these people? I don't do that anymore." And she's like, "There are bad people on both sides of the field, dude. Just eat them, eat them." And so he does. And it turns out to be a slew of Ava clones. And he pulls one of the helmets off and sees one of the Avas, and he's like, "Boss!" And it's so hilarious. So he's like, "Oh no, why did you have to taste so good?" I'm like, Gary's such an idiot. Oh my gosh. I love I love Gary. But while he was eating all of the clones of Ava, or Ava clones, Sarah ends up following one. And it leads her back to like this, like, to me it looked like it's like a regular like slit, or like a little mining field area or whatever, a little slight base in the middle of the trees or something. And I love Sarah's reaction. I love how she follows the Ava clone, and in her mind, because she's so the toxic or poisoning in her body is like making her see what she wants to see. So she sees the Ava clone, but she sees it as her Ava and not what literally Ava is doing at that point in time. And so she follows the clone to the location and realizes, she's like, "Do you think I would know my own Ava?" basically, and takes the clone out. And then we'll get to that. We'll get back to that in a minute, but I thought that was interesting. At the same time, so every week I know that we're going to have a new alien, because why would we not? So we already have Lord Knox, and Lord Knox is basically an alien who goes from planet to planet and challenges the hierarchy, or basically the leader of the free world or the world in general, and defeats them, and then allows the rest of his kind to come in and take over, invade the earth. If he doesn't win, I guess he becomes the winner's bitch. That's basically how that works. And so he comes and challenges. He comes first to this convenience store, and there's like a convenience store worker, and this young boy is getting like a slushie. And like, I thought it was so funny that like Lord Knox come, and this is all in the future. So it's basically, I believe it's 2145, or it's 2045. And he comes to the future, and Lord Knox is like, "Take me to your leader." And basically what happens is that he asks questions. He's like, "Well, who's the leader of, Earth?" And, he picks up a magazine and sees Zari's ex, DJ S'mores. And in his mind, because the guy's on the throne, he puts together that he is the king. So he's going, and of course, the young boy in the store kind of helps along with that, which I thought was interesting because the kid could have run away and he actually stayed to help the clerk, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, so that whole thing, the whole situation of him feeling that DJ S'mores was the king and he needed to challenge him to the death was absolutely hilarious. I do see your comments, Fictional Girl Power. I actually do a review first, and then we have Q&A. So right now we're going over Legends of Tomorrow. Then we'll talk about that. And then we're doing a Batwoman hybrid. But yeah, we do answer questions, which is, if you look at some of my previous streams, why the streams end up being very long. If you're asking questions like Laurel or Felicity, I'll have to get to that in a second. But yeah, so we do answer questions in the stream. But I actually do my reviews first, which is what the purpose of the stream is. So just throwing it out there. All right, so we got Lord Knox, who basically is going to challenge DJ S'mores. Now, he, at one point, it literally disemboweled him. So, of course, with the Wave Rider, they go back in time, and they're basically trying to keep him from being killed, even though we learned that DJ S'mores is a complete a-hole. And like Zari has this assistant, and her name is like Lore or something like that. And I don't understand why this girl is her assistant, because not only does she not have Zari's best interest at heart, she also, like, when she's talking to John about Zari, she says, "Oh yeah, DJ S'mores is pretty much set Zari up. He wants to keep her. Or Zari is actually better when she's not happy, so he cheated on her with her assistant." And John's like, "You're her assistant." She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, why is this woman still in Zari's life if she's this much of a bitch? I don't understand why she has this woman running anything or doing anything for her. I just had to throw that out there. I thought that was a really weird situation. But in the future, in 2045, I think the only TV or the only network television show is pretty much DJ S'mores' TV show, where it kind of looks like a really crazy version of American Idol or The Voice, where everybody's on like a Zoom chat, but the performers are performing live. And then you got DJ S'mores sitting on a throne, basically telling them if they suck or not. That's literally, and then the audience also, via their applause and whatever like emoji they give you, can also determine the winner. So Zari's business is not doing well. So she decides to compete against Lord, Knox. Basically not only to save the earth, but to keep herself valid, because, her business is not doing well. Her perfume, her makeup, and all of her merch is not selling because she's been out of the spotlight for so long. Now, I will say something interesting about this show. These performances are very short. I feel like the Fruit Girl had like a 1-minute song, but I don't know if this is a future thing or what, but all of the songs seem to be less than 30 seconds long. Like the whole performance is like 30 seconds. So I don't know what the runtime on this show is supposed to be, but it's very quick. So I'm just throwing that out there. Zari's first song was very interesting. It was very diva, very queen, and that's what she was going for. But I did like the little dress they had on, the gold dress with the wings, very, very pretty. Now the second song that she did she does the second song, and I'll get into her and John in a minute. And something I always found amusing about every situation where they have like stories where they break into musicals, somehow everybody knows the song lyrics and everybody knows the notes to play. And so she starts singing a song, and then John comes in on the guitar, and then two sisters who were competitors before start coming in as backup. I'm like, there was no rehearsal. No, as a matter of fact, Zari was going to sing this one song, and to mix it up, DJ S'mores gave the same song to Lord Knox and had Lord Knox perform her song, to the point where she's known as the Dragon Girl, and the lyrics, "I am the real Dragon Girl," are in the damn song that Lord Knox is singing before her. So pretty much took her song, like this empowerment song. And so she ends up just singing this song completely off the cuff, because she has feelings for John. John has feelings for her, but they are both hard. It's hard for them to be in a relationship, basically. So they're terrified because they feel like it's not going to last, and, they don't think it's going to go anywhere. And I mean, it's really cool to see John and Zari 2.0 together. But I love the fact that she was literally singing a song that she was making up on the spot, and then everybody knew the music. So that always amuses me with these. But they ended up overcoming Lord Knox, and Lord Knox basically became Zari 2.0's bitch in the episode, which is cool. The only downside is what happens to Lord Knox. Now, Lord Knox actually turns out to be a tiny little cute alien who was coming out and he was talking about all this advanced technology that his civilization has, and then Mick steps on him because that's what Mick does. And Mick was literally cracking me up this episode because Spooner was not putting up with Mick shit like at all, was not putting up with his shit, like how he acts moody and defensive and like does whatever he wants to do. He was giving Ava a hard time because he's basically taking Sarah's disappearance very hard because he's she's the other OG and the last two OGs, like Ray's gone, like everybody that started in the Legends are all gone except for him and Sarah, and then we know he's actually leaving too, so technically Sarah will be the only OG. But he treats Ava like a secondhand citizen. He doesn't listen to her. And, she's like, basically, this is my fiance, the woman I love more than life. And I'm babying you. And Spooner's just like, I'm not playing this coddling, walking eggshell shit with you. I love it. She tells Ava, she's like, I've dealt like guys like him before back home. And basically, if you give them a mile, they'll either take your truck or take your virginity. And I'm like, I don't want to know the story behind that, but that was hilarious. So her entire interaction with Mick was amazing to me. And I think Spooner is who Mick needs on that ship because she puts him in check. So I do dig. I like what Spooner does. I love that Spooner is just ready to blast every alien because that's why she's there. She's like, I got a new mission. I'm just going to kill all of the aliens, do all of the things. So I did like that. But yeah, then we have back to the whole John and Zari thing. And we all knew this was going to happen. The entire episode started off with, him asking Zari why she doesn't stay over. Like they sleep together and then she goes back to the ship. He's like, why don't you stay here? So I already knew that John was getting into his feelings, but we knew this because even on, I think episode 2, Asher was making fun of him because Zari had him on a juice. Like she was juicing and he was drinking it. And he's like, you're completely whipped by this woman. So yeah. I think it's cute that John and Zari 2.0 are trying to work it out, but now it's making me wonder because like we still see Zari 1.0. She's in the relic, she's able to hear what everyone's doing. It's making me wonder, are we going to get Zari 1.0 back at any point, or is Nate just going to be that character that can never have a girlfriend for very long because they always disappear? I mean, it just seems like that's what's happening. That's what his role is in the series. But yeah, I mean, overall this is a really cool episode. It was cute and very musical. So if we were going to have like technically a musical episode, I mean, not everybody was breaking into song, but this is pretty close. We at least got a few of them because John and Zari did do a ballad together and it was very cute. There really wasn't a lot going on with Barad. I mean, Barad and Nate were support. I feel like they're the bromance since Ray is gone. It's now, Barad and Nate as the bromance of the team. So very supportive. I think one of them was on hair and one of them was on costumes, and like, basically they made John up to look like Chris Angel, which he was ripping on Chris Angel hard. It was very, very funny. And Zari's mother making an impromptu appearance was kind of funny because the whole thing that started John getting upset was he overheard Zari saying, this is just a fling, and he doesn't want it to be just a fling. So I thought that's pretty cool. Yeah, I do see that, Fictional Girl. We did get that musical episode in The Flash season 3. And I mean, from what it seems like, we might be getting musical episodes in a lot of the shows that are still existing. I know we're losing a few, but I don't know. I love the little love ballad between John and Zari. So I thought that was really cute. DJ S'mores. I wish they had taken DJ S'mores hat off just to see what we look like under. I mean, I don't know. Because I guess they wanted the mystery and that's his stick. So maybe nobody knows what it is, but it's hard for me to really imagine that there is a super famous idol out there who's never been seen because they have a huge freaking s'more on top of their head. It's just really weird to me. And like, obviously Nate and everyone saw him because like Nate knocks him out and puts his outfit on to go on stage. So But yeah, but I will tell you this: Tala Ashi, who plays Zari, is adorable, and she was kicking ass on that stage. So I got to give it to her. And I do love that there's definitely a distinction between Zari 1.0 and Zari 2.0 in terms of how their personalities are. They really do seem like two different people. So I love it. And if you watch a show called NCIS New Orleans, that one of the agents on that show looks like she could be the sister of her. So if they ever, I think the show's ending, but if they ever wanted to have somebody come in as Zari's cousin or sister, I mean, that's your girl. They look so similar. It's crazy. But yeah, so I wanted to start off with this one, and we can always, we go to the questions, we can always come back and talk about Legends. But I wanted to get through that because I wanted to talk about Batwoman, because Batwoman was nuts. I mean, it was effing nuts. There was so much going on, and it was a mess. And so basically, one of the biggest things that but one of the biggest issues they were having was their snake bite that is being cooked because Ocean, and Angelique aren't able to do it anymore. Is basically they're doing a trial and error system where they keep changing the formula. So I guess it used to be red and yellow, and now it's blue. And it's causing people to not only want to relive and, to experience their own memories, they want to experience everybody else's memories too. So they are basically becoming zombies and eating other people. So they've created zombies. So it's the Umbrella Corporation in Gotham, basically. And it's horrifying. I mean, horrifying. But at the same time, there were so many things going on in this episode. So you had the zombies, and you would think that would have been like, oh crap, what are we going to do? That's the biggest thing. But it's not. Everybody was having issues in this episode. So we had Ryan, who actually is dating Imani, which I am okay with, because at least it's not Sophie, because I've already told you guys what I thought about that in previous reviews. I do not want Sophie's character to become a bat chaser, because she cannot be with every Batwoman. You had Kate, you had Julia, who dressed up as Batwoman to help Kate. And then you would have Ryan. That's too many Batwomen for Sophie under her belt. She literally could say if she slept with Ryan, she would have tapped all three Batwomen. And that is, even though Julia is a pseudo Batwoman, she was pretending to be a Batwoman. She was in the damn suit. That's just too much for me. So I'm cool with her and Imani, but I think she's going to mess it up because Imani doesn't know she's Batwoman. And of course, Ryan's not going to tell her. And she keeps blowing her off, even though they had this conversation. She's like, you deserve more. I thought that was like a breakup thing. And then it was more like, oh, well, I'll just keep you guessing. So I don't know what's going to happen. But her and Imani is adorable. Imani reminds me of an anime character, the really cute, nerdy girls that everybody wants to date. That's what she reminds me of. A lot of Fu and Magic Knight Ray Earth. I really love Imani. And I hope she stays around, but I don't know. But so in the episode, during a charity they're having for the community center at Mary's Bar, two racist white cops come in and say that they got a noise complaint, and they basically want the music to be turned down. And of course, Ryan is like, no, because Ryan snaps with her emotion. So like, she's always the one to go off. Even if she's in the right, she snaps, and she doesn't think like Luke does. Like Luke is like trying to pacify the situation because he understands what could potentially happen. And Ryan's just like, nah, which is so interesting. It's interesting for me, for someone who got arrested and went to jail for a little while, that she would be that aggressive, in terms of not realizing that this white cop doesn't give a damn about shooting you. He just doesn't care. But she's in her feelings. She gets thrown down. She gets Luke thrown down on the table. And so they get arrested and taken to jail. And then Sophie comes in later to invest, or basically for the fundraiser, and sees what happened. And people tell her, oh, they got carted off. And so she starts questioning the cop, and he gets in her face. And she's like, well, I'm a crow, and this is pretty much what I do. And then he's like, well, they can't have like a standoff, even where he's like, are you questioning me? Blah, blah, blah. I can arrest you, whatever. She's like, I like to see you try. And then sure enough, Sophie gets arrested too and gets thrown in the cell. I love Ryan's face when Sophie comes and she's like, wait, what? The conversation between the three of them, though, is very interesting because it touches on all three angles across the board, about how to deal with a scenario where you are a person of color, specifically in this case, Black, dealing with people who don't give a damn about ending your life over trivial shit. And Ryan is just hot. She's like how anybody would be in that situation. Why do we always have to bend? Why do we always have to do this? But why is it that we aren't given the flexibility to make mistakes or to talk back? We're just instantly shot. But yet, if it's somebody else or if they're white, that's not what happens. And they even show this in this episode, because if you look at what happened with Ryan, and then we're going to talk about Luke for a minute, because my heart, look what happened with Luke in this episode. And then you look what happened at the main guy that that takes a snake bite, who was sitting in the truck, who ends up in Mary's clinic. When the cops keep trying to approach him, they put their guns away. They try to diffuse the situation. They put their hands up. If he had not been white, they probably just would have shot him. And we got a good example of this with, the crows and the asshole who hates Sophie and wants to take her job, or at least become, acting, commander. How he basically instructs the crows to open fire on the homeless snake bite victims who were zombies without even trying to save them, even though they knew they had a cure. They had a way of diffusing the situation. He just opened fired. And he's also the one that shot Luke. And yes, Luke got shot in this episode, and it just drove the point home, because Luke literally was reasoning with the police officer. He's like, hey, I have photographic evidence, and went to pull his phone out, and the cop just yelled gun and shot him. And that, in a nutshell, was effed up. And the fact that the guy who was basically stealing the car that Luke was trying to stop, that got him shot, was the same guy who got put into jail with him earlier, that was screaming, power to the people. It's just irony. So the message was driven home with this one. I know this is probably gonna have a lot of people screaming agenda and woke again. And you know how I feel about that shit, which ass cheek they can kiss. I really, really liked how they played this off in this episode. I thought it was really well done. Now, the second part of the story, because there's 3 parts, deals with pretty much Alice and her realizing that Cersei is really Kate. And you can see it in her eyes. She did not want to leave, her with Black Mask, but Black Mask is crazy. So she ends up leaving. And of course she goes to Enigma and she ties her up, and she's like, you have to help me get, Kate back. Give me a reason not to kill you. I love how she's like, give me a reason to save your life. So she tells her to go get something of Kate's. And she goes and gets these car keys. I'm not car keys, or motorcycle keys, and brings them to her. Well, while she's getting the keys, she runs across Ocean. And so her and Ocean both go back to Enigma. And then Enigma talks about how, you need to have a strong emotional connection to whatever the object is. Plus they need a password. So, Alice is like, the bike represents freedom. She always felt free, basically happy, whatever, when she rode that motorcycle. So she would recognize the keys. And then before she can ask what the password is from Enigma, Ocean snaps Enigma's neck. And of course, Alice is thinking, oh, you want to get revenge for her now before I get the information I need to save my sister. And then Ocean's like, I don't want you to save Kate. Because why would you? Think about it. Kate doesn't care. She doesn't think you're worth saving. And when Kate looked at you back, basically implying back when she was in there with Black Mask, she didn't even recognize you. If you were somebody who could have brought her out of, whatever, and you're her own twin, then it would have happened. And this is just proof that Kate gave up on you. And if she was here today, she would lock you up again. I mean, he threw out this whole like it was almost like they were at trial and he was prosecuting Kate, saying, you do not need to. It is better for her to not know who she is, because she's not going to be the twin you want her to be. She's going to be the twin that thinks that you're a waste of space, basically. This proves it. She does not care about you. Let it go. And you see Alice, and it's like, you see the conflict. And what's so interesting to me is I feel like they're still doing a redemption or arc on Alice. I don't know if she's ever going to be the Red Alice that we have from the comics, but they are definitely doing a redemption arc for her in terms of, I think Ocean is her humanity right now. And now she's doing the ultimate struggle of redemption. Will she or will she not try to save her sister now that she knows her sister is alive? Will she tell her dad? Will she tell Sophie? Will she tell anybody that Kate is alive? because right now, if Ocean gets to her, she may not. And that means we're gonna be in for a long haul of this chick thinking she's Cersei. Now, to play devil's advocate, I think that for me, I think that Kate as a whole should be coming out a little bit on her own and questioning stuff, especially when Alice showed her a picture of the real Cersei and said, well, she has brown eyes and your eyes are blue. It's like, you're not, it's impossible you're the same person. And like all these little clues should be like triggering something in her. But Enigma did say in order to do a deep hypnosis and brainwash, she did have to basically destroy her psyche and like shatter it to pieces. And I guess she's so good she can just pop them all back into place. I don't know. It's interesting. But yeah, that whole thing is interesting. So yeah, we have that. And then we also have Jacob and Mary. And Jacob and Mary, so you remember in the last episode, Jacob was coding because he shot himself up with snakebite. I'm glad he didn't get the zombie one, but Mary saved his life. And so, they don't immediately talk about what happened with the snakebite because the zombie guy comes in, and then they start getting an influx of all these people that have chunks taken out of them because they're in a damn zombie invasion. And so they're trying to save everyone. And since Jacob was basically had military medic training, he was able to assist Mary in the clinic with her and her limited staff. So they were able to help all of these people. But then Mary finally confronts him because when she talks to the zombie guy, he's like, the reason I even started using snakebite is because my wife died in a car crash. And every time that I use snakebite, I'm able to see her again. And so Mary puts two and two together and realizes that he's doing it because of Kate and Beth. He's like, I understand that it's hard for you because you miss them and you feel like you have all these mistakes. But she's like, I had to learn to live with them too. And I'm not using snakebite. And then she said, it's crazy that you'd rather spend time living in a fantasy world where your two daughters are alive than lose the one daughter you have left. And I was like, she just dropped the mic on his ass. I'm like, okay. But I will tell you, when I saw the zombies in this episode, I kept thinking Deceased, the DC comic Deceased. And I'm like, Ryan makes this, comment early in the episode where Luke's like, you need to get out there and work with these zombies. And she's like, I'm a minority, man. We don't do well in horror movies. And I'm like, you're not wrong. I don't remember seeing Ryan Wilder added to the Deceased line. So, Batwoman wasn't out there. I'm like, so she's not wrong. She is not wrong. But I thought that was absolutely effing hilarious when she's like, dude, I'm black. I'm not going out there. I'm like, superhero is one thing. Horror movie, that's a negative. But yeah, I thought that whole interaction with Mary and Jacob was probably long overdue. I always wondered how Mary felt about being the one child that was adopted. You had the one biological twin that got taken or that everyone thought was dead. And then you realize she was kidnapped and tortured and now was a sociopath. And you have the other one who goes off to military, school and then leaves because of don't ask, don't tell, and then leaves again and has like lots of issues with an overbearing father. And then Mary was the one that was left behind. So like both girls were gone technically. And Mary was the one always around Jacob. So she seems to be the one that always got the overprotectiveness. But I always wondered how she felt. Like, was he as strict with her because she's not biologically his? Because I don't know. It's just something that I thought about. And then since I've always been under the impression that her real father was still alive. I don't know why I thought that, but I didn't think, because she keeps saying she lost everything, meaning she lost Kate, she lost her mom. Where's her bio dad? Did we ever come to the conclusion that he's out there? I don't know. Just something that I thought about. But yeah, I think closing this episode off and then making us work, I think we have to wait to June 4th, I believe, where Luke gets shot. And I saw the trailer for the next episode and it's a mess. It's a mess. We have to wait now to June 4th to see this, but it's a mess. And I did not. I don't know what I thought, because the racist cop that arrested them, Ryan, Luke, and Sophie, and put them in jail, later in the episode gets attacked by the white zombie, the main white guy that walked into the clinic, who lost his wife, who became a zombie. He attacks him and is biting him, but he's the one that like put his gun, the cop put his gun away and said, I want to help you, which I don't know why the hell he hasn't seen any zombie movies. You don't put your weapon away. But I don't know why he decided it was a good idea to approach him, but it ended up getting attacked. And then Batwoman ended up saving him. And he's like, thank goodness you were here. You got here in time. And she's looking at him like MF. And I thought that would have been the moment. That was the registrating moment. That was the lesson. Be careful who you arrest based on color, fucker, because they may be here to save you from a zombie attack, or they may not be. But no, like the whole thing with Luke, as soon as we saw Luke walking with that, talking to, I think he was talking to Ryan on the phone, and he's like, I'm going to, I got this. I'm like, oh no, because this car alarm went off. I'm like, oh, they're going to shoot Luke. And sure enough, they effing shot Luke. I was so mad. Oh, I was so mad. But I will tell you this. Sophie quit the Crows. And I knew it was because that Tabarad guy, the same guy that shot everybody up at the homeless, all the homeless people, gave the order to shoot, the one that was talking mad trash to Sophie, who shot, and he also shot Luke. I thought his entire character was going to be there just to show Sophie that she needed to get the hell out of the Crows. And again, back to the conversation in the jail. Sophie made the point of saying, I want little black girls to look at me and say that they can be, in this suit or in my role, have this badge, be able to do, to be in the law, be trusted. That's why I'm doing this, and how Ryan was being judgmental and saying, but you're doing this through the cops, they're kind of white supremacists. Basically, that's the implication. And Sophie's like, let me explain something to you. I risk my life every single day without wearing a mask. And I'm like, oh, shit. Ryan couldn't say anything to that because I thought, oh, she's like, when I am in uniform and when I am out of uniform, I am still Sophie. And I'm like, well, she dropped the mic on her too. People were dropping mics on each other. I'm telling you. And even Luke's like, just because I was raised around a lot of white rich kids does not mean that I didn't have to keep my head down and know my place. And he's not saying what he had to do is fair. What he's saying is that I had to play the game to keep my ass from getting shot and to keep myself safe. And Ryan, you grew up in an environment where, it was crap. You're an orphan. You lived on the streets. You finally got adopted. You were kidnapped by the candy lady. But baby, like, you cannot just run your mouth off because, unfortunately, as a minority, they don't care if you die. I'm like, so I absolutely loved it. All 3 points were valid in that conversation because Ryan's right. She shouldn't have to shut up. She didn't do anything wrong. She is being arrested under false charges, and it's not right just because of the color of her skin. Even when the cops came in there and said, no wonder it's so loud, because of, basically implying because they were black, they were loud and rowdy. And so she was right to be angry. Luke was right for how he's handled the situation in terms of self-preservation. And Sophie was right because she is trying to make things better. So all 3 aspects of that conversation were true. And that's why I liked it. So, but yeah, guys, yeah, I cannot wait until Tavaroff is. He might actually have his ass kicked. We'll see. He shot the wrong guy. Let's put it that way. He shot the wrong one, and he's gonna be a problem. But when I saw Luke fall, I was like, oh my Lord. I mean, and then why in the hell is Tavaroff responding to just a random carjacking? Where were his boys? I mean, they were already shooting up the homeless facility with all the chapel where all the homeless people that were affected were. I don't know. That whole situation was really weird to me. So, but yeah, this episode actually trumps the last episode for Batwoman. So I love the episode from last week, but I say this episode right now is the best one of the season because it basically all of the points were hit for me. It was entertaining. It was scary because those zombies were effing frightening. I mean, they showed them pull out a woman's spleen. Like she literally was in a car. You saw the zombies at the thing and they pulled her out of the car. And then when the cop showed up, they turned around. He's like, we got a problem. And you see one of the zombies holding the spleen in his hand. I'm like, damn, they went full force with this. They were zombies. So it was frightening as hell. Everybody got to have their little moment where they got to talk about their feelings. We kind of got a little, I'm not going to say closure, but we know for sure that Kate is definitely going to play a huge role in this season now because of Alice. Now, I just don't know if Alice is going to do the right thing or not, because Alice is stubborn as hell. And even though she loves Ocean, Ocean's like, I love you. I don't want you to be with Kate, blah, blah, blah. I think he's probably even going to try to convince her to leave town with him, because boy was waiting for her in the damn sewer for 2 days. I'm like, so this whole situation in Gotham is crazy, and I am here for it. So I'm very, very excited about it. All right, so I'm gonna scroll up. Let's see what everybody is saying. Hello, Yido. Trusting Gary can't be a comfortable feeling. I will say this. Gary does do things that are off the cuff crazy, but he does it from a good place. He's trying to be good. You know, he's an alien learning to be human. He's trying very hard, and he's a socially awkward alien. I mean, he seems to be the bitch even in his race, you know, so there's a thing. There is a thing. Laurel or Felicity? In what regard? What do you mean? You mean who's better? Depends. Laurel from the comics, like Dinah Laurel, much better. Felicity in the comics is kind of a very obscure character that really didn't do much and was not even in the Green Arrow universe. She was a Batman character. And was hardly ever in the comics. I mean, if you blinked, you missed her. The Felicity that they have in the Arrowverse, I love the nerdy girl appeal, but it got kind of annoying after a while that everything was about Felicity. So in that regard, I would say Laurel, but they've milked Laurel down and destroyed Black Canary for me. So I don't really know. If you're asking me who Oliver should have been with, he should have found some time for himself, you know, to get his shit together and just not worried about any of this relationship crap. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of either, to be honest with you. Okay, we got that music. I think I answered that one. Hi, Mercenary. For humanity that just killed a person. I mean, Alice is being redeemed, though. You can see it. Like, there is a potential for redemption by the series, not by Alice, but it seems like the series is trying to do it. Don't expect them to do anything sticking to the comics. Just read the comics. Oh, yeah, we already know that. Hi, Kevin. Javicia's Batwoman still isn't canon, is she? Well, okay, so the character was made canon in the Batgirl comic. So we did see her prior to her becoming Batwoman. Now I need to go back and see if we have any new like appearances of her in the comics in Batman or any of the Batman comics or DC comics with her already in the suit, because I don't know about that. But I do know that she wasn't a Batgirl issue, and it was established that Barbara knew her and tried to help her. So we have that. I wish that I carried on to the show where she could say, hey, I had a run-in with a previous Bat member. I guess she technically wouldn't have known because Barbara was helping her as a cop and not as Batgirl. So I don't know. That's interesting. Glad Sophie finally quits the Crow. I know. I was like, about damn time. It was a fun episode. I mean, it's interesting to have like so much death and like have so many issues that are happening in our valley today put in a zombie episode. It's like all this racism happening, and we've got systemic racism, we got drug use, we've got all of these different themes. Oh, and by the way, they're zombies. I'm like, that was actually pretty cool. Oh wow. Yes, Ryan is in the comics. I just don't know how many different comics she's in yet. Zombies and on Batwoman. I may have to watch it again, and you need to watch it, Kevin. Zombies. With Enigma dead, they'll need another hypnotist, maybe Mad Hatter. I would love Mad Hatter to be on this show. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Poor Mary, she is so third wheel. I feel like she's third wheeled everywhere. I really do. I feel like I like Mary's character. She reminds me, though, I guess since she came first, I should say Althea. Althea reminds me of Mary with more of the tech knowledge of Luke. Like, and I always say this, if you ever watch Kung Fu, Althea is basically the love child of Luke and Mary. There's also Spellbinder. Yeah, Spellbinder would be cool. Something I wondered, what happened to Zari's dragon? Is it at home? Did she release it? Or is it a wildlife reserve? Or maybe Zari's cosmetic is the dragon's secret conspiracy? That's what I was wondering too. That's a good question, actually. Huh. I don't know. How does I have photographic evidence imply gun? I know he literally said I have photographic evidence and then reached into it and all he's like gun. That's because Tavroff is a effing idiot. I cannot stand him. I cannot stand him. And like, I feel like Jacob employs a lot of bullies into the Crows because it seems like so many of them are shady as hell. I don't get it. All I know is they better not pull a Laurel Lance with Luke. Yeah. 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 He knew it would happen. That's why he took a photo. That's true. He did take a photo on his phone. Now, but will the phone come up missing? Then again, there is the cloud, though. I don't know. I don't know. I did not even know that cops still existed in Gotham or in Legends. It's Caleb. They won't because that was a different situation. I can see that. Hi, Cheston. How are you, lady? Sorry, trying not to scroll too fast. Can we see Sophie become Batgirl? I'd be down. That would be interesting. I would like, I don't know. I mean, they like to create characters too, like in Supergirl and Guardian. So, I mean, they could just make something for her. But regardless, Ryan just whole ass told Sophie that she's going to be on Team Bat because she's like, you got us now. You can work with the good, the good guys. And if you look at the trailer for the next episode where Ryan is crying and Sophie is hugging her, they look like they're in the Batcave. So I think she's moving from the Crows to the Batcave. My only question is this, and I've always wondered this. I'm assuming Luke has some kind of trust fund from our like insurance policy from when his father was killed. And that's why he has money. What is Sophie going to do to pay the rent? Because if she quits the Crows, she doesn't have a job. And I don't think the Bat team pays anything. Like Luke and Mary can afford to do it. Of course, Ryan is the manager of Mary's bar and her roommate. So it's not like she's going to throw her out for not paying rent because she works for her and she's also on Team Bat. What in the hell is Sophie going to do for money? I'm just curious. Hopefully she's got a damn good savings account. But we already established in other CW shows that money and paying the rent and paying the bills don't seem to be a priority to any of these characters. What will Sophie do for a living now? Exactly. Honestly, Tavroff is great as a low-level antagonist. He is. He's somebody I want to punch like on a regular, so you're right. I thought Ocean would be Alice's redemption, but I was wrong. I think she will save Alice, which will save her. Maybe. I like to see what happens when Kate comes back, though. Laura or Felicity, I think I already answered that one. Prediction, Ocean dies before the season is over. That's possible. Ocean is not a canon comic character. They can do whatever the hell they want with Ocean. How did Rory nail Kayla's look without meeting her? Because he's great. That's why. He is supernaturally great. That's why. Better character in the Arrow TV show. So what do you mean by better? You mean in all of the Arrowverse shows? Can you expand on that? Will a Batwoman crossover ever make sense? Depends on what the crossover is. If she had time to pop into the last episode of Black Lightning, then maybe, or have Black Lightning characters pop into hers, or if Painkiller gets a call order and we season order, then having Batwoman pop over and I prefer Killer. Painkiller should go to Gotham. I think that would make more sense. She really wouldn't have a reason to go to his city. But I would like to see Painkiller pop into Gotham. I think that would be very interesting. My dream is that I don't want Tobias to be in Gotham for long, but I would like him to come in here and come into Gotham and mess some stuff up. I think it would be hilarious because he is the Black Kingpin / the best Lex Luthor in the Arrowverse, in my opinion. Gary's uncertain. Uncertainty in his task doesn't inspire the most confidence. I would like to trust him, but I generally would have a hard time if I were in Sarah's position. Yeah, I mean, but she's also very out of her element. I mean, he is an alien, so they're in space. They're on a different planet. He knows more about things than she does. He's very intelligent. He's just a klutz. And I mean, let's face it, he's the beta of the situation, and everybody else is always the alpha. I like both Laurels in the show. When you say they destroy Black Canary, which one do you mean? So Black Siren is pretty much closer to the Black Canary we wanted, but the original Black Canary, which was Sarah Lance, was very cool, and I think I could have accepted that. But what they did to Laurel's version of her becoming Black Canary irritated the hell out of me. I don't like her. Is Alice one of your favorite Arrowverse villains? Yes. Absolutely. I love everything about Alice. I love her monologues. I love how I love villains that show vulnerability but can just change. Like you can see it on her face, how she's vulnerable, but at the same time, completely batshit crazy at the same time. I love her. Love her, love her, love her, love her, love her, love her. Is Nora a Speed Force really Eobard all along? That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Why so many Ava clones? I remember in one of the episodes they had a whole facility that was just making Ava clones, and they had like an Ava Queen or something like that. I have to go back and watch that episode. It was season 4 or season 5. I can't remember, but I don't know why they made so many that look like Ava. I mean, Ava's gorgeous, but I mean, she's pretty much like a Terminator robot. You know, that's the pattern, and I love that Ava being a clone. For Sarah basically looks at her as a regular person, and she kind of separates her Ava from all the other Avas out there. And I'm basically made Ava a real person, even though she has no past, no actual family, no real childhood memory. She really has nothing. All of her memories are with the Legends and with the Time Bureau. That is literally her entire memory. Her entire life is just the Time Bureau and the Legends. And it's sad. And I love that Sarah's making it her mission to make sure she has real memories. You know, I don't know. I really love their relationship. I will be so mad if they break them up. I really will. Maybe the Crows being shady is commentary on the police. Yeah, I mean, it'll be easier for them to say defund the Crows without taking a side, I guess. But yeah, a lot of people were like, what? GCPD actually is still here. I'm like, yeah, they've been here the whole damn time. It's just that we have the Crows who get paid by, businesses and stuff because they're contractors, and they're given special permissions by the mayor to run the city and do whatever they want. Because I mean, why else would they have permits, licensed to kill? Because Tarnoff killed those people. They shot those people that were in that chapel, the homeless people, and that was so messed up. When we get the Sarah Lance Painkiller crossover, we deserve. I know, right? I don't know. Could you see Painkiller on the Wave Rider? That would crack me up. Well, Khalil would probably be like, okay, this is weird and kind of cool, but Painkiller would be like, what the hell? Is Gotham in Gotham? They're always talking about the cops doing everything the cops are supposed to do. Well, I feel like the cops aren't even there. And plus, remember, we don't have Renee Montoya, because in the Batwoman universe, Renee Montoya was a detective. So was Maggie Sawyer. Now, Maggie Sawyer was white with blondish hair, not Hispanic like in Supergirl. I don't have a problem with that, though. But it's just interesting that her entire character was already used in Supergirl, so they can't use her in Batwoman, even though Maggie was pretty much almost married to Batwoman. I think they're back together now in the comics. I'll have to go back and look. So Maggie was one of the loves of Kate's life. So yeah, it's just interesting to me. But I don't know why the cops are hardly know. I mean, they obviously get to go on top of the police station and use the bat signal. But I mean, we don't have a relationship with the commissioner. We don't have a relationship with anybody. Batwoman has more of a relationship with the Crows, which kind of made sense because, of course, Kate was Jacob's daughter. But we have a whole other Batwoman now. Why don't we have other cop interventions and other police relationships? I don't know. It's just really weird. It would be nice if Barbara Gordon was the new commissioner and she dealt with Ryan. Then it would have more, I don't know. I'm not missing the comic book feel, but it would be kind of nice to have certain elements on the good side, because we always get the villains from comics, but we don't get the good guys from comics. And that's what's very interesting to me on the CW. That sounds like a good idea. You know how CW feels about good ideas. I mean, you're not wrong. I think there was already a Guardian in the comic. There was a type of Guardian, but not like what Alex is, and not what Jimmy was, and not what Kelly is going to be. It's completely different. But yeah, they have had a character named Guardian, but not the same. Sophie gets money from the Charm Ones. Where the Charm Ones get money. Sophie can be a private investigator. This is true, but you have to build up a lot of clout, and like operating in a city that's run by the Crows after you just quit the Crows is going to be hard. She's signed up for some shit. She really has. I cringed when Gary was eating people, and I mean the true definition, not the toxic, overused meme version of cringe. Yeah, I mean the CW has been making me cringe since last week with the whole nail thing, with Alice popping her nail off, and then the whole meat episode with Legends just made me sick. So they are trying to gross us out a little bit. Back to Sophie really quickly though. She actually may go into become a police officer too. She may stay in law enforcement. You never know. I think Alice is suffering from villain decay, like Malcolm Merrill from Arrow. Yeah, I call it the CW villain treatment because eventually every villain gets redeemed. Ava was basically a Barbie. There were different versions of her with different roles. Yep. I mean, they were all patterned. I don't know who the original one was. I think in that episode they did have one that was ruling them all. I have to go back and watch it though. It's been a minute. Who is the original Ava? I think I must be Psychic Bart because I actually answer questions before I ask. I have to go back and see who the original Ava was. Chef Ava, Mermaid Ava, Malibu Ava, Fairy Princess Ava. Alice spent the whole first season trying to turn Kate bad, but now she wants Batwoman Kate back. I know, but that's what she wanted the whole time. Beth is angry because even though she kept quiet so that her father and her sister would not be killed by her captors, they still didn't sense that she was in the room and bust in and save her. And I always thought, what would have happened had she just screamed and said, I'm in here? Because your father was trained. Yes, this guy's a killer, but the father was a trained fighter. So I don't know. I just felt like it would have went a different way. She could be a security guard for Wayne Enterprises. True. That is true. I'm just wondering who's paying. I mean, remember in the episode with Kate, with her assets, they had like a will, and Mary got left the club, and like it seems like all of her assets went to other people. So then who was running Wayne Enterprises? Who got Wayne Enterprises? It's a thing. I mean, did Luke get Wayne Enterprises? I don't know. Is Mary now the owner? I don't know how that works. It's funny how CW villains start out badass, but then get less evil as time goes on. True. I wonder if Sophie's going to be a bouncer for the club. That would be interesting. In Zari's future, metas are illegal, having to do with what exactly? Is there a Flash connection? Who knows? Barry messes everything up. Every time I see a preview with the Flash, and they're like, when Barry's like, whenever you need help, I'll come there. And I want to add ... and make it worse. I'm like, change something that cannot be undone. Flashpoint. But yeah, I'm hoping tomorrow will be a better episode of The Flash. But Superman and Lois, I think, returns tomorrow. So there's that. I assumed Kate got it. No, so Kate got it, but Kate's supposedly dead. They declared her legally dead. So then who gave it? Who did Kate leave it to? That's what I want to know. Did she leave it to Luke? Did she leave it to Mary? Who did she leave it to? That's what I want to know. Barry needs to stay in his own continuity. I'm telling you, he just needs to stop. Hey, Maria, joining the chat late. I just got through watching Batwoman. The ending made me mad. I know. They shot my boy Luke. We were discussing it. So if you can go back and see our thoughts on that, because it's too emotional for me to keep retracking that one. That was messed up. People always say Barry messes everything up, but he only messed it up once, though, not every 5 minutes. Oh, madness. We are going to disagree on this big time. Big time. Barry has made so many mistakes since season 1 of The Flash that it is a running effing joke at this point. He does things and sometimes does things without telling the rest of his team, or makes decisions and doesn't listen to the rest of his team that causes issues. It almost happened in the last episode. His wife, his best friend, even Wells and even, Chester P, all were like, well, we're supporting you because that's what we do, but it's not like we agree with you. Nobody effing agreed with him going and basically uncreating those speed forces. But he basically told his wife, end quote, so I guess we disagree about this. And she's like, I guess we do. He's like, well, I got to do it. That's literally saying, well, basically, I'm going to do it. There's nothing you can do to stop me. Peace out. That is a problem that I have with Barry. Barry continuously makes decisions without thinking about consequences and how it affects other people until it's too late. And then he gets in his feelings and he blames himself for things. And then people pep talk him up, even though technically they are right. He does F it up. I'm like, he does. So yeah, we're going to disagree on that one. I'm sorry. We don't disagree on that. Maybe it went to Mary. See, I wonder if it did go to Mary. I know she got the club. I don't know. I don't know who, because I always tried to figure out if Kate bought Wayne Enterprises, because technically doesn't Bruce still own? I really need to go back to the pilot and look at that again. I need to see the actual ownership of this place, because if Kate's dead, then who's paying the mortgage, or paying, if they have employees, who's paying for this stuff? I don't know. I'm confused. Let me get this straight, because they are writing Barry as a dictionary definition of a hero: truth, justice, compassion for others. Literally, the point of a hero is that they have love and the villains don't. But a fictional character with superhuman powers, haters gonna hate, I guess. All right, Madness. So let me get something straight. I don't mind having differences of opinion. I don't like when people call other people haters because they have a different opinion than you. I've been actually reading comments on my charm review that actually is showing me a lot about suspending disbelief and seeing fantasy versus reality. If someone does not agree with something you say, that's fine. You can be in your feelings about it. But please don't get on here and call someone a hater because they have a different opinion of what a hero is and what a character does in a TV show. Because again, it is fantasy. It is not real. None of these characters are real. I'm never going to be upset on my channel if somebody has a love for a character that I think is not good, or I don't like a plot. The purpose of a review, which if you want to review stuff, you can start your own channel and do the same thing. Maybe you do. I don't know. I'm sorry. I haven't had a chance to go down my list and look at people's channels, is to give your opinion on something. My opinion is that Barry Allen, and this has nothing to do with being a hero, because first and foremost, superheroes in Arrowverse shows and comic books, unless they are from an alien planet, are supposed to be a human being first. Critical thinking is a skill you need to use. If you do something and your actions have consequences and you're given abilities that help people, and you do things to make things worse a lot of the time, that is a hindrance to being a superhero. So I'm just saying this because that is how I feel. If you feel Barry Allen is great and he is your flavor of Kool-Aid, then that is fine. I am not going to argue about it, but I am going to say, please don't use the word as haters going to hate, because that irritates the shit out of me. I'm just saying. Okay. And I know you're not referring to me. I'm just saying in general. I just have to put that out there. I have been seeing, again, on my charm review, I got a reality check about how many people get in their feelings when you say something about characters that you don't like. And I just have to put out there that I don't do that. So I'm never going to tell somebody on this channel that you have to agree with a damn thing I say, because everyone who's followed me from the beginning knows that I do not do that. I don't. If I make a comment that seems like I'm being sarcastic, I am naturally sarcastic. I apologize, because that's what I do. It's what I do, but I will never, and quote, you can write this down. This is the Bible of Maria. I am never going to tell somebody else that they are a hater, that they are shit, that they are anything for having a different opinion on anything that I do, because I don't like trolls. I don't like people that can use their minds. I don't like people feeling like they can't express themselves freely. That's not it. We can debate, but I'm not going to tell you, oh my God, you were the stupidest fucking person I've ever seen before in my life. Why do you believe that? Oh my God, you don't like this character? You are absolute garbage. You are the worst YouTuber. Or you're commenting on this video with this crap. How can you come to this channel and do that? You're an idiot. I cannot stand that shit. It drives me absolutely insane. I'm just putting it out there. So that's what Maria gets in her feelings about when people do that. But as for your point, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I'm telling you I'm disagreeing with you. There's a difference. We have two different perspectives. You can love Barry Allen. I don't love Barry Allen in the comics. I'm just telling you, I don't. I really don't. I prefer Wally and Bart. I don't like him in the comics. So him in the Arrowverse, it's the Arrowverse treatment. It's the writing. It is actually a writing problem. But I just disagree about his impact. His impact has been pretty bad across the board. He makes decisions. He's very, very rash when he makes decisions. He makes them based on an emotion and doesn't think. And he's supposed to be an extremely intelligent character, and it bothers the hell out of me. But yeah, it's a thing. I think we're talking about robots. Sorry, I'm trying to. For some reason, your comment came up twice on my end, and I'm not seeing it in the chat. So this comment that I'm reading is posted double, but I don't think it's double for you. So we're just going to go with that. He also has a really campy outfit. I don't think it'll look good unless there's a high production value. Are you talking about, who are we talking about? Because I would like to know. I would like to see more underrated heroes and villains on Legends of Tomorrow. They have a whole list of like C characters, like Justice Leaguers they could pull in to just be on the team. But I mean, to be fair though, I mean, having like, just all the characters they have in right now, some being canon, some being made up, because I don't think that Bayrod is actually from the comics. Don't quote me on that. I don't think that Bayrod is a real character. But having Bayrod in the same character as Nate's and John Constantine, whose characters are in the comics, is interesting. I like how they mix it up. Like Spooner, I think Spooner's completely made up. Absolutely made up. And who knows? I like when they said her mother was kidnapped. I think I said this in the last review, and I believe Madness, you were one of the ones that said this on a comment or asked a question. And it was basically, is her last name being Cruz? Is she the daughter of Jessica Cruz? Because Jessica Cruz was kidnapped by aliens. She's gone. They don't know where she is. And I'm like, oh, maybe the Lanterns got her. Because that's literally what I thought too. When I saw that, I'm like, maybe she's the Jessica Cruz we need in this world. Now, again, in the comics, she's not old enough to have a daughter that's Spooner's age, but they could have aged her. I mean, I don't know. Like the way I'm looking at the Arrowverse now is that we have Batman, who was so established at this point, and then we have Batwoman, but yet we have a young Flash. We have a Superman who's kind of seasoned, but is not, as I'm seeing, as old as Batman. Then we have all the Justice League characters that don't match the age of Batman. So it's like, it's all over the place at this point. So I don't know what they're doing. For all I know, instead of a new Justice Society of America, we may have Stargirl join the Justice League. I don't know. I don't know. It's a thing. I really wish they had an outline on what they were doing, because right now, the way I'm looking at the Arrowverse shows, it's like how I look at the DCEU. They are separated. They're separate universes that after Crisis, they don't really talk to each other as much. Like we saw Black Lightning get help from the Flash. We saw Legends want to call the DEO, but could not. We had, it's all these different things we keep seeing, but like, there's really no connection anymore. And with Black Lightning, I think Black Lightning has 2 episodes left. So tonight and next week, which is so messed up. Oh my God, I'm in my feelings about that. So they're going to be gone. I don't know how many episodes Supergirl has left, but they have at least the rest of this season. And then they're gone. So like we're losing so many people in the Arrowverse. And then we're getting, I still don't know if we're getting Painkiller. I'm really trying to figure this out. I don't know if it's licensed. I mean, they're doing everything they can to get it licensed. I mean, the scenes he's in are pretty kick-ass, but I don't know. But we'll have Painkiller, who again, was not a leaguer. But so it's just, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. It's fine, Madness. I don't want you to think I'm coming down on, I don't want you to think this is just you. You said like a comment and I just had to comment on it. So this is not me saying, oh my God, Madness, I hate you. I'm just saying I hate that. I don't like it. I just don't. I don't like when people call each other out for stuff. I get enough of that crap as a Trekkie. Like, I like Star Trek, but not to the level where I'm going to like literally wish death upon people if I don't agree with the theory, or if I like an episode of Star Trek Discovery. I cannot do that. I think it's insane. I do. I think it's insane to attack somebody, especially through the internet that I've never met, because they don't agree with me, or vice versa. I don't call people out in their lives. I don't spam them. I don't tell them to go die, or some more vulgar things I won't repeat that I've actually seen other people go through on the Ruby found board. Ruby of all things, which is so interesting. It's all of it to me is toxic as hell, and we don't need it, especially what's going on in the world today. So it's just toxic. I don't like it. Why did you scroll down? Oh, you're supposed to scroll up when I scroll up. Okay. I think. Sorry, it went back up again. My bad. One sec. Okay. They may end up changing his look more fitting. They did for Ray. His costume doesn't resemble his comic book look at all. Booster Gold is just a loud, gaudy character. I like the actor in Smallville who played him. He was really good. The episode where I think it was him and Blue Beetle. Was it just him and Blue Beetle? Because I know there was one where we saw Zatanna, and then we had Blue Beetle. I want to say it was Blue Beetle and Booster Gold were in the same episode. I thought that was really cool. I really like that. I live for Sarston. Is that what we're calling? Is that the ship name? Zarstantine? I like it. I like Zari 2.0. Like, a lot of people were like, she's so vain and entitled and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, she's not. She's just one of those people that's sad and just, she needs notoriety, and she wants to stay valid by having people say they love her on a commercial level. But she even knows that she had no friends. I think she even said something, I had spent my entire life building up this image and nobody knows me, basically. So I love her. And I think her and John are so fun together. I don't know. I like her and John more than I like Nate and Zari 1.0. That's probably controversial, but it's true. I'm talking about Booster Gold and Legends of Tomorrow. Oh, okay. Huh. That is actually very cool. See, I wasn't aware that we were going to have Booster Gold in Legends of Tomorrow, unless you're talking about him making cameo in the previous season. Then I completely forgot about that. But if they are bringing Booster Gold in, that would be very cool. Oh, the possibility. Okay, yeah. I would actually, he would get on everybody's nerves though, just because of how, money hungry and like, he's just a narcissist. It'd be absolutely hilarious. Hope Nia and Brainy join Legends. They'd be perfect. I want to know. My theory is, because I thought Nia's actress was going to Legends, but my theory is that, I don't know why, I feel like Nia's going to go to the future and join Legion with Brainy. Because, I think her dad may still be alive. Her sister's not talking to her, but I remember in the comics, her sister actually was off training to be like a sorceress or some crap, or a witch or something. It's been a minute. And so she becomes a different type of hero, like an anti-hero. And so, but her, Nia getting the powers, her sister's mad because technically Nia being transgendered, she feels she shouldn't be allowed to have the power since she's not a biological woman, which is crazy. And so her sister stopped talking to her. I don't know, but I don't remember about the father. I know the mother died. I don't remember if the father died. But the reason I'm asking this question is besides that, her dad, she doesn't have anybody else besides Supergirl's camp to leave behind. So she could go to the future. I don't know. It would be interesting. I think for love, she will go to the future. I feel like a high production value will be required to provide a portrayal of Booster Gold that really hits home. Yeah. You're going to have money. And I don't think they're going to spend, how much money they throw into Superman and Lois. I don't think they're going to put that in the Legends. I just want Legends to not be canceled. That's what I want. Where the heck is Vixen? That's a damn good question. Where's Ryan Cho? I know. I don't know. I thought he was going to be the new Adam. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Ryan Cho. I think when they did this whole Zari thing and Bayrod thing, they were like, we got too many people, and maybe they just decided not to go with it. But it's weird because they brought Spooner in. Why isn't Ryan there? I don't know. I really need to look into that. Maybe something happened. It's not a continuity issue. It's mostly because of COVID. Well, no, I know that. But my thing is, with all of these series leaving, like, I need to see, was Black Lightning just straight up canceled, or did the lead just say, I don't want to do it anymore? I need to figure out why Black Lightning was canceled. But I mean, getting rid of shows like that, especially after you establish them as members of the Justice League, is just weird to me. I understood why Melissa's leaving Supergirl. She just had a baby. And she's been working, for 5-6 years. It's very stressful with a newborn. Somebody who had to take care of a newborn, I know it's having a baby and working 16-hour days, staying in Canada half of the year. It's hard. So I do understand on that level that maybe Melissa was just burned out, and being that she is Supergirl, it's hard. So I do get that. But I want to know what happened with Black Lightning. I really do. And if Legends gets canceled, which I hope it won't, if they don't get a season 7, because I know that right now, I'm pretty sure Charm's already renewed. There's so many shows that are already, Stargirl already has a season 3 order. I don't know if Legends already has a season 7 order. And that's what worries me, because if Legend goes, Supergirl goes, Black Lightning's gone. Then we just have The Flash. We have Superman and Lois. We'll have potentially Painkiller and Stargirl. Maybe Batwoman. I don't know. There's rumors that I think they're getting season 3. They got a season 3 order, but I mean, we don't know what's going to happen beyond that. So there's so many question marks that I have about the future of the Arrowverse and what the hell they're doing, because I don't know. I don't get it. Sometimes comic accurate outfits can be hit or miss. Black Canary's outfit in Smallville was terrible, but looks good in comic and animated. Some hate Jupiter's Legacy costumes, but I love that. I actually did not mind Jupiter's Legacy. I need to do my Jupiter's Legacy review. I'm waiting on Eloy. But it is that I actually did not mind their costumes at all. I really didn't, especially Raiko's. I love Raiko's. But she reminds me of Lady Shiva, so that's probably why. The Diggle episodes were actually supposed to be interconnected, but because of COVID, they had to scrap that idea and make them one-offs. Oh, really? I want him to come in as Lantern, though. Like, I don't understand the point of having him find the box with the glowing green item inside. We know it's the ring. What was the point of that if you're not going to do it? It's just like when I watched Stargirl season 1 and we kept seeing the green, the Lantern Charger, just like reacting to nothing. And I'm like, is that a symbolic? Does that mean we're getting a lantern? I mean, it's so much. It's so much. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That is very true. We lost Arrow. We're losing Supergirl and Black Lightning. Sarah will be the last original Legend. I mean, what's left? I know. It's such a weird thing. It's like the end of an era, It's like when Mick goes down to like guest appearances, she will literally be technically Barry. Barry technically is, Sarah predates Barry. So she will be the OG. He will be the second OG, since technically the Flash came right after Arrow and then we got Supergirl. But yeah, it would just be Barry and Sarah. That is so weird. That is just really weird. I remember really disliking Mira's look in Smallville. I know. I liked her attitude, though. She definitely had a cool attitude. But yeah, I didn't like her look that much in Smallville either. I may call people out to criticize people, but I would never wish death on anyone. Oh, you would be surprised. I had to adopt so first of all, I have an allergy to bullshit. So I just do. I get heavily amused when people think that I'm aggravated or upset or being rude to them through words on the screen, because it's very hard to actually translate intention through text. because you can interpret, if you can interpret a poem or a story or a TV show or a movie, whatever, a million different ways, you can do the same thing with comments. So I even recently, I think I was talking to a few people and I said something and someone said I was being rude. I'm like, about what? I'm just answering or debating, because debating is what we do. You can debate something and not be personally affected. I'm not sitting at my house saying, oh my God, you said this about blah, 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 and you don't like blah, 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 blah. Well, F you. It's just like, it is so amusing to me that people think that I have the time or other people have the time to get that invested in anger over imaginary content. It's just really funny. It's just really funny to me. But yeah, people will come out. They come out and they show their ass, and it's hard to deal with some people like that. You cannot, as a reviewer, you have to have a tough skin, because people will try their best. They would try their best to try and make you feel like this. Only it doesn't really work for me, because I'm old. I've been through some shit. I live life. And so these comments are never going to bother me. They just won't. I'm not on the level people feel what they do. So I just do it as disclaimer, because I don't want people to just say things like, I don't like when people like, you're being a hater, or I don't like when people say you're trash for an opinion. Because even if I don't agree with what you say, I'm never going to do that. I had somebody, literally, you might even be able to see it on my Charm video, that asked why there are so many gay people on TV shows, especially in Charm. What does it set? What did they say? Something along the lines of, what example is that setting for the children? And you're saying this on a queer woman's channel. I mean, there's a term I like to use, saying know your audience. I'm like, why in the hell? Like I said, I literally, I have to do this, because I don't have time in my life to be upset about it. It's stupid. It's absolutely pointless. If I got upset about these comments, I'd be upset for years. I got all kinds of comments on Yashahime, on Charmed, on Motherland, Fort Salem. You want to see me be attacked? Just wait till I start talking about Scylla again on Motherland, Fort Salem. Oh, they'll come for me. I got cussed out in French. Like, only reason I knew is I had a friend that spoke French, and she went off on me, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. She's in her feelings. Should be all right. Like, it's just what it is. It is what it is, guys. That is what you sign up for when you review things, unfortunately. It's a thing. Sorry, I'm trying to get... Every new show got a budget increase. I think some of them did, but I think the fact that HBO Max is footing the bill, so Warner Brothers basically is footing the bill for Superman and Lois. There is definitely a difference in quality between Superman and Lois and every show on the Arrowverse. I think Painkiller, probably set design wise and CG wise, is probably going to have a pretty high price tag, because it's pretty, but it's still not shot on the fancy cameras like Superman and Lois. Like, they're using Reds and probably $30,000 to $40,000 hard drives per episode. So, I mean, it's not something that we're going to see the CW do on the Painkiller show. That's more than likely shot in Black Lightning City. I didn't look to see if Painkiller is still going to be shot in Atlanta, but probably is. So, yeah. I don't think it was canceled. I think the writers decided it was time. For Black Lightning, I really need to know, I want to know what their thinking was and why they thought it was time. There were so many stories they could have adapted from the comics. So I'm very curious on that. Ryan Choi may have been reserved for the movies. Now, we know he is in the Snyder cut. I don't know I haven't seen anything about Ryan Choi being in anything. I mean, I know we're getting Shazam, or, they have an order for Black Adam, or they're filming Black Adam. I don't think we'll see him in Aquaman 2. I mean, I don't know what he would be in. I really don't. But again, maybe the DCU is doing something like the MCU, like what Kevin Feige did for MCU. Maybe they hired somebody to put everything together and make it all interconnected. I don't know. We may not be seeing the big picture, but, I find it ironic that DC shows tend to exclude Batman in general, yet they include heroes like Mira and John Flash, when all characters are concepts far less realistic than a bitter rich guy hero. I think they just don't have license for it, because I think what they wanted to do was a Batman series. That's probably why they got the Gotham series and told it, Unfortunately, not from Bruce Wayne's perspective, but from Commissioner Gordon's perspective as a young Commissioner Gordon before he became commissioner, and then had a young version of Selina and a young version of Bruce, because it's easier to take the young character of Bruce and have him build himself up to Batman than actually having Batman and adult Bruce Wayne. So I just think it's a licensing thing. I don't think they were able to have the Batman series, and that's why we got Arrow. I think Batman got a budget increase because of Batwoman, because the camera quality seems improved compared to last season. I think they did get a bit of a budget hike. It probably helps that some of their series are leaving. But I don't know. I still feel like I wonder what the shows would look like if they were filmed with the same equipment as Superman and Lois. I really wonder what it would be. I will love if they don't kill them and bring them back for the crossovers. I really want Anissa and Grace, potentially Lightning. I don't know what's happening with Lightning right now, but to have them go over to Painkiller show. I think that would be cool. I think it was already renewed months ago. Batwoman. Yeah, I think they got a season 3. I just don't know what we're having, because I know on one of the streams someone thought maybe they were canceling it after season 3. I need to figure that out. It's hard because they don't release enough CW or Arrowverse news for me to figure it out, but I want to know if Painkiller got licensed. I will only be okay with Legends of Tomorrow being canceled if Sarah and Ava are introduced in the comics as canon characters. I will be okay if they had a spin-off series. I think that would be cool, and have it more space themed where they get to travel around and do stuff. I think that would be very cool. But yeah, I need them to be in the comic. I mean, I felt like they were in a comic, but it might have been their own. IDW does a lot of adaptive comics. Like, I think IDW did Smallville. I know I have it. I just don't remember if it was IDW. I have to go back and look. I'm pretty sure IDW, but they do a lot of different crossovers. Like, you'll have like X-Men in Star Trek, they've shown Star Trek mixed with Doctor Who, like just crazy stuff like that. Even Abramverse, we had Matt Smith's Doctor crash right into the bridge of the Enterprise. It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I mean, look at how long it took them to use Superman, and still haven't seen Wonder Woman. I know. I mean, not any version. I mean, damn it, bring Nubia. I'm scared they'd make Nubia up. They would mess Nubia up. Legends are renewed already. I think I read. Okay, well, that's cool. I don't want them to cancel Legends. Do you think DC may be trying to move their IP away from the CW? I think so. It seems like they're trying to push everything over to HBO Max. That's how I feel. And a lot of the content on HBO Max is darker. I mean, Titans is not a Arrowverse show. So yeah, I just wonder what Stargirl would be like, because the characters are under I wonder how dark it would be. I mean, I guess it could be really dark. Would be the first time. But I mean, I wonder about the tone change, if they move that over to HBO Max too. But I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like it is happening that way. Like, they're like, hey, we can put it all on this network. Because I mean, they're competing with Disney, and Disney's got all of the MCU shows premiering and doing really well, on Disney Plus. And so, of course, HBO Max. The one thing I will say about HBO Max that I effing love, when a movie comes out in theaters and it was done by Warner Brothers, you see it for free on HBO Max. If a movie comes out on Disney Plus, you're paying $29.99. Like, because that's what I had to do for Raya and the Last Dragon. I had to buy premium access to it because I knew I wasn't going to the movie theaters. There are 3 of us, so technically you are saving money and you do get to keep watching it. But yeah, I was like, I could have owned the Blu-ray. But yeah, I do like the HBO Max does that. So I'm hoping that if they release Aquaman 2, Black Adam, Shazam 2, all of that will premiere on HBO Max, and then I don't have to go to the drive-in, because that's how I will see it. I have to go to the drive-in to see it. I'm not going in a movie theater. I don't care who's vaccinated or not. I don't trust people. I'm not doing it. So, yeah. I do like that. So, but yeah, I think they are trying to move more content, their IP over there. I mean, it is their property. So it makes sense. Unless you count Titans. Is Naomi on CW still? I think Naomi is. I don't know. Somebody told me it was canceled. Somebody told me it wasn't. I need to look into that. I hope so. I still don't know how to feel about Titans. I know it's kind of all over the place. I need to catch up too. I've only seen season 1. I don't hate it. It is definitely an interesting show. It does keep you wanting to see more. But yeah, I can see when you love Titans and you see it's definitely it's a whole different thing. It is a whole different thing. But I mean, it's not the worst show. It's definitely not the worst. I mean, I'm more partial to Doom Patrol, but that's because it's on crack. So, but yeah, I can see how Titans could be an acquired taste for some people. I believe it was greenlit for next year. Okay. Well, I mean, it makes sense. They probably haven't been able to start filming at all. So they'll address the ring for sure. They better address that ring. I can see it with Bruce, but not with Robbins. I want to know if we're going to get any, like, are we going to get Nightwing, Batwing, anybody? Are we going to get, I want them. Okay. So am I weird though, that I want to see a live action version of Punchline? That chick freaks me out. I'm like, I want to see her more than I want to see her like a CW version of Harley Quinn. Cause I feel like that would be easy to do. She'd just be like Alice, but Punchline is effing psychotic. She is crazier to me than the Joker. I would love to see who would pull that off. And plus, she's so ambiguous. I can't figure out if she's Asian, if she's Hispanic. I mean, what is she? So like, she's like me. Like, you don't really know what I am until I tell you. I want to know what she is. She just fascinates the hell out of me. I think Jade was cast for Stargirl season 2. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that in I think I saw that in Superhero Hype. I know HBO Max has a better budget. Of course they do. And better writers. They have dedicated writers. That's what I like. They have their own teams for their own show. They don't just rotate them. I don't think Legends will end. I think there will always be new characters added who deserve to have their stories told. I really hope so. Like I said, the only NCIS show I ever watched was New Orleans. And it's the only one that got canceled. And I was like, and I just found out it got canceled yesterday because I'm late to this game. And then they were bringing in an NCIS Hawaii. And I kept thinking, I like Scott Bakula. I loved him in Quantum Leap. I didn't mind him in Enterprise, even though I didn't really like Enterprise too much. You know, he's just a really good actor. And I really liked his stories. And I really liked the representation on that show. As like the other shows just bored the shit out of me. I tried to watch them. They bored me to death. And the one show I liked, they canceled. The one NCIS I liked, they canceled. I'm like, and I read that it was even a shock to the cast and crew. They didn't even realize they were canceled. I'm like, that is crazy. I think they had 6 seasons. That's crazy. Is Groot still falling through time? Probably. Probably. Legends should take a chance on unused CW characters. I agree. I absolutely agree. I would love to see some other characters just pop up. Like even having somebody like Mary, you know, be the medic of the team would be hilarious. Okay, like the Modern Vixen. Modern Vixen would be cool. The benefits of having more money means better writers, apparently. I mean, better production value, a bigger budget, better editing. Yeah, you get all that. That's what Superman and Lois, they're getting the HBO Max treatment, which probably means their salaries are matching it. The gay Captain Cold, yes, bring him back. I loved him. Death threats are one thing I would never do. I just want people to have positive vibes. Yeah, that's the problem with fandoms, though. You have to be careful because some people, I don't mean to say this because actually this could be playing into somebody's mental health. So I can't call every troll crazy, but there may be something mentally impaired with people. They get so attached to an imaginary character or show or video game or whatever that makes you feel personally attacked if somebody said something about it. Like personally, like they are so in their feelings that they want to harm another individual or make them feel like crap for voicing that opinion. And I'm not talking about stuff like, oh, I can't believe you like this character, or this person's black, or this person's gay, or this person's too whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you know, how dare you say Macy did this, or how dare you say that Hasty is a horrible couple. You should just go die. I mean, it's like people get so they are morally offended. Like you personally attack them by saying this about this imaginary character that at the end of the day, when these people, the actors that play these characters, get paid and go home, they 9 times out of 10 don't think about until they have to talk about them in the press or go back to work. So it's interesting. It is really, really interesting. I remember that comment. Which one? The one that the one when somebody asked if why there's so many gay people. Why does every show have to have gay people, especially as main characters? And something along the, I just thought it was interesting when the person was like, and what will the children think? So then I said a counter argument. Why do all characters have to be heterosexual? What will the children think? That's literally what I said. That's my response. I never got a reply to that, by the way, but that's fine. Come to think of it, we need more LGBT heroes, like a live action The Ray. I agree. I absolutely agree. There's so many characters. There's one that just went out of my damn head again. Damn it. Damn it. Is it Helena? What is her name? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is it Angela? DC. Hold on. I think she's DC. She may not be. She could be Marvel. I can't remember. This is what age does, guys. It makes you forget everything in your life. I'm going to find it, though, eventually. Don't know if it's going to be the day, but I'm going to try. But, yeah, they really need to have more, for me personally, more representation. But then again, I don't want people to have a reason to say, oh, everybody's gay. I don't think they should overdo it. I think they should make it so it's normal. Like couples are normal. I want it to be where there are 2 characters, like okay, Shatterstar and Richter. Shatterstar and Richter would be very cool. It's very rare that you see 2 men as main LGBT characters in a relationship. And, that's why I'm so pro Ryan and Joe in Kung Fu, even though they're not heroes. I think that is, to me, that is amazing. I really, really love that dynamic. I think they're adorable. I like shipping them, but they are very rare, like very, very rare. I mean, look at Mr. Terrific. His husband left him. We barely even saw their relationship and he's already gone. I'm like, damn. Like you were there for like 2 seconds and then you're gone. And so it's crazy. It is crazy. Like another one of my favorite lesbian couples are Kazar and Moondragon. And I really would love to see them in something, but I don't know that I'm pretty sure they're Marvel, if I remember correctly. But who is the character I'm thinking about? It's driving me nuts. This is how my life goes, guys. This is how my life goes. It's like, I'm like, that character. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, crap. Like, those characters. But they are, I don't know what. And I really like the couple. And they did something that ticked me off too and separated them. And it made me really upset. And I was like, oh, like, why are you doing this to me? And now I cannot, for the life of me, remember their names, and it's just sad. It's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. So yeah, what I'm probably gonna have to do, because I don't think I'm going to find them. I might find them like last minute, but I don't think I'm gonna find them right now because that's how my life rolls. But when I do, I will post it in the comments. You'll see. It'll be the first comment that I do on the video, and I'll say this is who I was talking about, because I cannot. For the life of me, why can't I think of her name? It's driving me nuts. I was thinking about them the other day. I'm like, they would be so awesome to be actually in a comic. I want to say it's Angela, but I can't remember if it's Angela, what Angela's girlfriend's name is. Let's see if you guys are actually talking in the comments about it. Because if you said, maybe you said it, but probably not, because you probably have no idea who I'm talking about. I'm like, oh, guys, again, age will do this to you. I think she's Marvel. That might be my problem. Hold on. I think she's Marvel. Is she Marvel? She is Marvel. Okay. Angela, who is the daughter of Odin and the sister of Thor. Who was her girlfriend? Sarah, Sera. I didn't even have to look up. I remember now. Angela and Sarah. I love them. And I really, 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 really thought it would be cool to have representation in MCU with Angela and Sarah, especially if we're doing Thor, Love and Thunder. I really think that would be cool, even though I know technically speaking that storyline is going to have probably a cancer theme and a bunch of other stuff, so we won't have time to deal with it, Angela. But I love them, and I hate what happened to them in the freaking comic. You have to look it up. I need to see if they've actually resolved that. I got so ticked off with how they were separated, so that I just kind of like blanked it out of my head. But yeah, Angela used to be from the Spawn continuity too, wasn't she? She was sold to Marvel. I think so. Yeah, I have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure. But I freaking love Angela. I love Angela. Now, I don't love her on the level of Lady Shiva, but that's probably because that's my soulmate. I'm like, I gotta stop. River's my soulmate. Let's see. Make sure I'm trying to get to some more comments. R.I.P. Wonder Girl series. I heard. That sucks. That really sucks. Back in the day, Vandal Savage got turned to dust and was collected in a dustpan by Malcolm Merlin. How did he come back for Legends? See, this is what I've determined, Bart. You want to hear this? Okay. A lot of people are telling me that Crisis on Infinite Poop, I'm sorry, Earth, the miniseries, CW style, a lot of people were able to come back. So I'm just going to chalk that up that if he came back after Crisis, that's why he's back. But I have learned through Bryan Singer's X-Men movies that you can die, be blown up, have your particles scattered to the smithereens, and then you will just appear in the next movie like nothing effing happened. There's no reason, rhyme, nothing, no explanation whatsoever. Perfect example, Xavier in Days of Future's Past. How in the hell is he alive when he died in X-Men Last Stand, when it was blown up by Jean in her other personality, Phoenix, blown to smithereens? How in the hell was Xavier in Days of Future Past? So, yeah. We have to suspend our disbelief because comic books got rid of death. I mean, you don't have to stay dead. And it's true. Whenever they retcon a series and they get a new writing team, they bring dead people back all the time. So, not saying I'm hating the complete concept, because then we have Wolfsbane back and I love her. And we got a lot of characters back in Krakoa that we wouldn't have. So, I mean, not hating on it, but at least they had an explanation. These other ones just pop up out of nowhere like Baby's Kids. It's like, we're back. They're all Ava clones. That's the real answer. They're all clones of Ava. Personally, I consider Nate an OG member because he borderline is pretty close to being one, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, Nate's character technically is also a real character in the comics, so that makes sense. Hit that like button, y'all. Thank you. I always forget to say that stuff. I think Sarah's already in the comics, just not as White Canary. I think so too. I think I've seen a lot of CW characters added, because Felicity was added again, because she was in the comics, but again, she was a Batman minor, like 1 issue, 2 issue, like nothing character. And then she became like a big deal in Arrows. But I think CW has its own comic line, or the Arrowverse has its own comic line somewhere. And then ever so often they just morph into the comics for some reason. Which, it is what it is. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I want White Canary to be a major comic book character too. I would love to have Sarah be I would love Sarah and Ava, because it'll be so adult. And I say that because Smallville, when they did the last season, like after the TV series ended and they did another season, and I don't know if it was 11, 12, or 13. I can't remember how many. I think we had 12 seasons of Smallville. So this would have been like season 13. I have to go back and look, but I own them. But like, it got so adult. Like, you were seeing characters, that were getting assaulted. You would see Lois and Clark going at it. And like, it's just so many things that you didn't see in the actual. Yes, we had issues, like episodes near the end when they were engaged and they were like getting it on. But I mean, in the comics, they were like getting it on. So like, it's so adult. It's so different than the TV shows, because, they don't have the censorship laws that they have on TV. Don't show a butt. Don't show this. Well, even though technically they kind of do break that in some series. But yeah, I would love to see White Canary, because I know White Canary will be very rated. Let's see. I'm disappointed that Titan doesn't have teen heroes, although they do seem to have high school drama. Yeah, they are definitely in their feelings on that show. I never forget the Titans debut trailer. Batman. I mean, I'm not going to say that a lot of people don't say that in the comics. Especially, again, my favorite diss for Batman of all effing time is when Jon Stewart cussed him the hell out. He was talking crap about how Hal Jordan died, and it was a funeral, and he was saying he was weak, and that's why he died. And then Jon Stewart was like, "You stupid mother." He's like, "You know what?" He said, "The only reason that you get by and survive is because you incite fear in people. But guess what? I'm not scared of you." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." It came out. It came out. We got a photo for the show referencing the comic. It looks dope. Oh, cool. I did not. So premium access is any different than buying a DVD or Blu-ray with shipping costs or the price of gas. Technically, buying a DVD or Blu-ray costs more than premium if you factor those in. That's true. I wish it was like when you go to, when you have Vudu and then like you order it, the digital, I guess, technically it's a digital stream of the movie and then you still get the Blu-ray in the mail. I wish the Disney Plus did that. I think it would be very cool. But I guess they're feeling like, well, how will we make extra money if we give you the Blu-ray now when we can just give you premium access to stream it and then give you the option to get the hard copy? Because that's what I feel is happening. Okay, I think I already did that. I still haven't bought into the hype of Punchline. I know she's just crazy. Like the woman, like with Harley would do horrible things, but she was so adorable. And like at some point she was like, maybe I should have done that, and then Punchline is like, yeah, I fucking poisoned you. And it's like there's like no remorse at all. She's just crazy. I feel like, I don't know if her stuff stems from trauma, because we know Joker was abused. And I'm not making excuses for the level of crazy he is now, but it came from trauma. Harley Quinn stuff came from trauma. We don't know what the hell motivates Punchline, and that's why she intrigues me. She's very intriguing. I feel like she was just born nasty. So, yeah, that's a thing. Titans MVP Crypto, the super dog. I mean, why not? My super dog is laying right over there. We already got a CW Harley Quinn played by Tara Strong, who saw the back of her head. Yeah, I know. Actually, in Birds of Prey, the TV series, we got her played by, her name just went right out of my head too. I have to come back to that. But we did have a version of her in Birds of Prey. I'm still in my Batman burnout phase. It's been 3 years since I've diagnosed myself with Batman burnout. It's not hard. I mean, again, the Batman Who Laughs was a great series, but I mean, then they had Dark Metal, but you have all of these spin-offs of this comic, and it's just a lot. And then City of Bane upset so many people. Even it didn't upset me. I was reviewing it for a little while, but even I got a little burned out. I'm like, he's literally on Paradise Island with Serena, living his best life, parasailing, and I'm like, this is not Bruce. No, it was a hard run. Also, if John Diggle doesn't become a Green Lantern, I will be pissed. I know, but it irritates me how they keep teasing Lantern. Like on Black Lightning with Lynn saying, my brother John, who joined the army. That's Jon Stewart. There's so much. There's just so much that I need a lantern. I need a lantern. And I know I joke about, the Star Sapphires that are on The Flash. But I don't know. I'm really worried they can't have a lantern, because I think HBO Max is still moving forward with their lantern show. So that's why we can't have a lantern of our own. But then that doesn't make any sense, because if they're doing Green Lantern, they can still take obscure. There's like a shitload of lanterns that they could take and put one or two on the show. And it's not the same continuity. So, I mean, we already have a Flash in DCU and a Flash on the Arrowverse. So then what's the effing problem? I don't understand. Why can't we have Jessica Cruz? That makes no sense to me. Whatever. And yes, Jessica Cruz is one of my favorite Green Lanterns. Just saying. If they do bring Sarah Lance into the comics, I can see her being a member of the Doom Patrol. And when she first meets Ava, she's an agent of the Bureau of Normalcy before the two become a couple. Yeah, I like when they were butting heads, but they were obviously attracted to each other. I thought that was really cool. Maybe you will like the next NCIS. I mean, it's in Hawaii, and what I think is happening, and this is just me being a smart ass. I'm like, okay, so Hawaii Five-0, I used to watch that show, and I mean, they have all the set stuff, and they have their soundstage and all that. They're like, what if we just reused all of the 5-0 stuff for NCIS and save money? Because the only reason that, and it's CBS, right? So I want to say Hawaii Five-0 was CBS too. It could have been NBC, I don't know. But just think about it this way. The only reason 5-0 ended is because the lead actors were tired of doing it. And plus, one of the lead actors had a bad back and he was in pain all the time. So they wanted to stop. They didn't get canceled because of ratings. They stopped it because of that. So NCIS 100% could take the place of 5-0 in that same filming capacity with the same crew. So it would save a lot of money. It's actually smart because, I mean, I don't know where the original NCIS films, but I think, so obviously NCIS Los Angeles films in Los Angeles, probably a hell of a lot cheaper to do it there. Or even if it's filmed in Georgia, still very, very cheap. They were on location in New Orleans. They may have been having some tax problems because we had a show that came out here in Memphis, Bluff City Law. And the reason I think it didn't get renewed is because our city wasn't doing, our state wasn't doing tax breaks. We're ruled by Nashville, even though we're in Memphis. And Nashville, it wasn't filming there. And so they treat us like they're the redheaded stepchild. So whenever anything comes to Memphis, they don't approve it. And then we have to use volunteer money and other corporations have to, pretty much invest to get stuff to come here. Even Memphis Beat, which is about Memphis, was filmed in Georgia because we couldn't get tax breaks down here. So it could be something similar in New Orleans. They're just going through a lot of hassle and maybe they're just tired of it. And they're like, you know what? We got this whole set out in Hawaii. So let's just cancel this perfectly amazing show and then go over there. Because it is a really good show. You were absolutely invested in these characters. It's sad. And it has Cece Pounder, who I love because I've loved her since one of my favorite shows ever is Warehouse 13. And I loved her as Mrs. Freeman. And Mrs. Friedman. And I absolutely love her in NCIS too. So it's sad. All my favorites are going away, but that's fine. I'm just speaking now. Just being sorrowful because they have one episode left and it's next week. And I had no idea the show was even canceled. So I just found this out yesterday. I'm late. I'm so late. Let's see here. If Anissa and Grace don't go to Painkiller, they'd be funny on Legends. Yeah, Anissa and Grace they would not survive. Anissa has to learn to listen before she can be on Legends of Tomorrow because she would be getting in arguments all the time because Anissa is just like Jen and just like, her parents, where they all think they're always right. And they all think they just need to go off and do their own thing. And, it doesn't always fly. It doesn't always work. So they are too hard-headed. I think Grace would be fine, but Anissa's too damn hard-headed to be on that ship. She would have to really go deep into her soul for her character to be a really good fit with the Legends. And you have a bunch of people on the board that have different personalities, but they're campy and they're funny. And I'm not saying Anissa can't be, but she is too damn stubborn to listen to Sarah. She's too damn stubborn to be like, listen to Sarah and Ava tell her to do something and talk to her. She'd be fighting every day. She couldn't be on there. She couldn't be on there. I've been guilty of getting offended in my feelings or calling someone a name, but I would never tell people to harm themselves. That's too far. Oh, it's worse than just harming. Well, I won't say worse. It's not just harming oneself. I don't really want to repeat some of the stuff that I've seen, but I've actually heard someone tell another woman it was actually on Motherland Fort Salem. It wasn't my review. It was like a nerd board where it talks about season finale stuff. And she said something, another guy said something along the lines of, I hope you are sexually assaulted. He didn't say sexually assaulted. I don't want to say what he said. just because she didn't agree with something that Alder did or something like that. And then it got even worse, if you can imagine, from that point. And I mean, I see stuff like this all the time. The toxicity level is very high in fandoms. It's because a lot of people don't have much going on in their lives. I mean, it's the truth. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm saying a lot of the time, and there's nothing wrong with being invested in fandoms, but there are a lot of times when that is literally all you have. And so you become very protective of it at the expense of attacking other people because you feel like a member of your family is being attacked or you're being attacked personally. And for me, I can't get angry at it. It makes me sad that there are people in the world that are that lonely, I guess is a good way of saying, that they basically have taken on imaginary content as their family and their friends and their lives. I mean, it's crazy. In some ways, there's no difference between a stalker of a celebrity who can't accept that their character and the actor are separate people and online fandom. And that is the truth. And that is what's very scary about some of this stuff. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I remember when Legends was a show that was a showcase of different DC heroes throughout time and space. Yeah, now it's campy. I mean, but you know what? I'm still here for it. I'm like, because I actually love their goofy event. I mean, they made fun of The Voice. I mean, it's funny as hell. When you get that invested in fandom, you need to re-examine your life goals. You do. And I mean, you don't want to say this to somebody because, again, you don't know someone's situation. There could be people out there that are being physically and mentally abused, and this is all they have. And they rage out because that's how, they're able to rage online because they can't rage in real life, which happens a lot. You'd be surprised how many people will be in your face on the internet, and then you get to them face to face and they don't open their mouths. And they can't. They can hide behind, the anonymity of being behind a screen, but they can't do it in real life. So it's a thing. It is a thing. A hybrid of The Voice American Idol and Masked Singer. Yeah. I think I've seen one episode of Masked Singer. I think it was a Korean version of Masked Singer. I don't know if there's different version. I think I saw the Korean version though. They weren't all heroes. Technically, only a fraction of them are legit heroes. The rest are vigilantes, villains, and rogues, and misfits, and made-up characters. Hi, Ray Ray. Maria, you need to review Castlevania. I need to catch up on Castlevania. I've only seen season 1. I'm so behind. And next week I'm going to be in my place because Lucifer season 5B comes out, and we got my Jurassic Park Camp Christie. I'm just telling them myself. I love my animated Jurassic Park camp show on Netflix. I am, for some reason, addicted to it on a weird level. And so I will be reviewing the hell out of that when it comes out because I'm going to binge. If you talk about binging, I don't care what I have to give up. I am binging that show. We will still get your Charmed reviews on Friday, but I am binge watching it. You may not see me on Saturday. I won't post anything Saturday, possibly nothing on Sunday, because I'm going to be binge watching that. I'm going to binge watch that show. The hell out of that show. It's just a thing, guys. Sweet Tooth seems cute. So if you're talking about Sweet Tooth as in the movie that's coming out, that's based off the comic that, why did his name just went right out of my head? Robert is, well, you know what? I'm just going to call him Iron Man. Iron Man's actor, because for some reason, my oldness is making me forget his name. That him and his wife are producing. It's either a movie or a mini series. I read the comic and it was dark as hell. If this is the same thing we're talking about. Let's see. Yeah, this is the same thing. This is absolutely the same thing. So yeah, I'm going to warn you, if it is following the actual comic series, or the comic run, it's not cute. It is very dark. It is a very, very dark show. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there. It's actually set in a post-apocalyptic, universe, and they have humans that are hybrids. But I believe it's Vertigo. Is it Vertigo? I think Vertigo put it out years ago. I remember reading this a long time ago. Yes, it is Vertigo. But yeah, I can see how the trailer would make it seem like it is very cute. But I'm just going to warn you, it actually is very, very, very dark and shows a very horrible side to humanity. So just put it out there. I'm hoping that maybe they did do a more lighthearted version, but from what I saw in the trailer, I recognized 2 characters, and one of those characters is the catalyst to a lot of dark stuff in the comics. So I don't want you to go into it and thinking, oh, this is very sweet, and then it starts going downhill, because it's not what you think it is. On the subject, I'm not involved in fandoms, but the mediums like comics and games, they help me alleviate stress of my work. They legitimately keep me sane. Of course. I mean, look behind me. I have an unboxing video for Uranus and Neptune that I just posted that I had River unbox for me. I get it. I love, 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 love my fandoms, but I am not going to go effing bullshit crazy on anybody, because you don't. You just don't. It's a level of, I try to respect that other people have their own minds and other people like what they like. I mean, me and my spouse have been married for a while. I don't eat meat. River is a meat eater. It doesn't take away from our relationship. We're not going to fight about it. We don't like the same thing. My favorite snack in the world is popcorn. River could take it or leave it. It's just a thing. You like what you like. It's when you start going batshit crazy with it that I have a problem with. Let's see. I won't mind either way. Okay. I just wanted to put it out there because it is dark in the comics. And again, I don't know what they did in Netflix. They could have made it a lot more kid friendly, but the plot itself, if they follow the plot of that comic, it's pretty dark. If I could find a Marvel hero with my job, I would be set. What do you do? Do you mind putting, what do you do for employment? They will be my hero of heroes. I know you just said something about public speaking. I watch River unbox those packages the price is right. I know, right? I was so excited. Oh my gosh, they are so pretty. You can't see them right now because my webcam is not aimed upward. But man, understand my love for Uranus. Like Haruka and Michiru, my first introduction to queer characters in anime. And even though Cloverway tried to tell us that they were cousins, which is very incestual and very weird, I've always known that they were a lesbian couple because I read the manga. So I loved how out they were and how they didn't give a shit what anybody thought. Like in Japan, and very literally late 90s, early 2000s, did not give 5 Fs. So I love them for that. Utena is another one. I love Utena and Anthe, but these are because these are the people that we had representation wise. We didn't have a lot of characters that were out. And now we do. So now it's kind of more, it's more of a thing. But yeah, it's like, there is a yaoi couple. I think his name was Yu and Hikaru. I have to go back and find it. And I always thought they were adorable. We've had so many series that went under the radar because they had LGBT content that you would never know about unless you're watching stuff. This was back when I was watching Fushigi Yugi and watching Escaflowne, even Marmalade Boy, like the old school anime. Because we have to say old school anime because now there's so many damn series. It's but these are the ones that we were just getting when we were getting fan subs. So yeah, a lot of shows that went on the radar. But Michiru and Haruka have always been my heart because they were the ones that told me that it was okay to be queer. So that and Xena, even though Xena was unofficial, she was unofficially gay with Gabrielle. We knew what was happening. They were my favorite and first queer characters too. You gotta get taste, sir. I help workers with unpaid wages and enforce compliance in the workplace, audits, reviews, and stuff. It's the deadlines that get to me, though. Well, you have a very good job. My spouse wants to be a labor lawyer, so I think you would get along great because River is very passionate about all of that. So I always love Neptune and Pluto. Poor tragic Pluto. Now Sailor, Mini Moon, and the fairy. The very thing that always disturbing to me as a kid. I know her and Helios or Eos is always a. Let's just say there is no statutory issue in the Sailor Moon universe. But I always had questions because I always try to figure out how Serenity conceived, Serenity. Queen Serenity had Princess Serenity without a father. Because obviously Usagi needed Mamoru to have Chibiusa, but then when they had a kid, their kid came out with red eyes and pink hair, and I don't understand genetically how that happened at all, but whatever. It's a thing, I guess. But I always wondered what that was about, in general. And Pluto has always been tragically sad being in love with Endymion and never been able to do anything but guard the damn door, just sitting in front of the freaking time and space door. That's all I got. I'm just gonna sit here forever, stand here forever, living my best life alone. At least Neptune and Uranus could just do each other, but Saturn and Pluto got the crap end of that stick. Saturn's like the person at the party you don't want to see. It's like she's like the cops when they call for noise complaints. She's like, "Oh, you guys drinking? I'm ending it all." So yeah, I thought that was funny. What are your thoughts on Luke and Nia being actors being asked by DC to write comics or a comic for their character? I think that'd be cool. Are they being asked, or is that hypothetical? I think that would be if Luke and Nia could write stuff. That would be, for me, on point. Now, I guess I can't say they wouldn't do that because didn't they have Abrams and his son do a Spider-Man run? I think I was reading it and I was reviewing it. I got behind because work. My job sucks. It's just very time consuming. But I think I'm down for anybody giving interpretation to their character that they played for a while. So I have no problem with that. No problem at all. Debs and Gabrielle told each other they loved each other more than any other show I have seen. Yeah, that's true. Isla Fisher was spotted with the cast of Thor. 4 people theorized she may be Angela. I really want there to be Angela. Oh my God. The only thing I fear, and this is a fear for me, if they have Angela and they hook her up with Valkyrie, I will be upset because that is not Sarah. I want Sarah. Is River in law school? Not yet. Right now, River's undergrad is in psychology, and River's working for a nonprofit that deals with systemic racism, educating people on identity, works with a lot of teachers and schools and things like that. So very important to work with what's going on, but that is the goal for River to go to law school. Darian and the Wicked Lady incesting. I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving all of it alone. I saw Laura's work in my context. I definitely do not envy them. They really have many, many responsibilities. It's hard when you're trying to fight corporate America. It just really is. You gotta be passionate. Are you looking forward to the new Venom movie? I'm kind of, I don't know. I want to see if it's gonna tie in with Spider-Man. If it has like a tie-in with Spider-Man, I think I would be down with that. I really do. I'm still trying to figure out if Venom's actor is going to make a cameo in Spider-Man 3, since they seem to have everybody else. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I think it'd be cool. I'm really looking forward to Morbius. Answer: Moon Prism power. Is that the overall answer to everything? Probably. Pluto was given the worst job. She's too pretty. Serenity, it's like somebody was checking for her, or she slept with somebody in the moon court to get the throwaway job. Now, Serenity was like, "Oh, you looking at my man? Well, you can't look at him from over there in the fog." I will say though, the whole thing with Haruka and Mitsuru when they met in their reincarnated lives, where Mitsuru is like sketching Haruka and like appears and like, you know, got those eyes, like intense eyes staring, and then Haruka's like, the hell. like it's like she recognized her and couldn't figure it out. She like, I think they knew who they were from their past, but like they made it seem like, Haruka was fighting it. But I mean, think about that. Whenever you approach someone and you're queer, you don't know if the other person is queer or not. Just because Haruka was more tomboyish does not mean she was into women. And Mitsuru was like, literally said, I want to go for a ride in your car sometime. I'm like, damn. I'm like, that's forward as hell. Forward. So yeah, I have mad respect for Mitsuru, because Mitsuru was like, I know what I want and I'm gonna get it. So yeah. Has River ever considered starting a YouTube channel for anti-racist advocacy? I would love for River to do that. I'm trying to get River to do more things. The reason we haven't updated our channel is because River has been swamped. Like even right now, I'm doing this and River's on a Zoom call. And sometimes River goes in at 6 a.m. and doesn't get off till 7 or 8, sometimes 9 o'clock at night, just from events they do through Zoom with all the different teachers and principals and all these groups. So yeah. It is a thing, but once, I don't know, we have lives again. I mean, maybe we can start doing more. I'm trying to get over my anemia to be able to produce more videos, because it's hard sitting here editing all day and then doing other, tasks and then not pass out. So it's a thing. I assume Nia was already in the comics, but guess not. I don't know. I have to go and look. I think Nia is in the comics, but I would like to know what the actor's perspective of Nia would be. I always wonder, like, because we've had Arrowverse versions of Oliver, Felicity, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if we have an Arrowverse well, we do. We do have an Arrowverse version of The Flash, because I remember when season 1 came out, they had comics release. And I think one of the first ones I saw was when King Shark was trying to eat Iris. Like, which is funny. I do wonder if they actually get they're allowed to have input, or do they just go by what the Arrowverse writers say the characters are like? I don't know. It's interesting to me. I actually preferred Angela as the angelic villain from the Spawn universe. I prefer Angela for most things. Love the stream, Maria, but I got to go. Catch you next time. That's all right, Kevin. We're getting ready to end this anyway. We're over 2 hours, and it is now dinner time. So, I love you. We will have our Arrowverse Tuesday tomorrow, which means we will be doing Black Lightning. We should be doing The Flash, and we should be talking Superman and Lois. So we'll have 3 shows to talk about tomorrow, which will be awesome. Tomorrow night, it will be at 9:30 Central Standard Time. So I'm already telling you that it's going to happen. And I skipped 2 comments. Put them in the thing. Please put them in the chat below and I'll look at it and I'll answer it, because yeah, we're over 2 hours, but I can't keep you guys on here. I'm trying to get it where you guys are always on here for 2 hours, but we get in our talks, and it's just how it is, but we're going to get it together. But make sure if there's something I didn't answer, guys, please put it in the comments below. I promise you I'll read it and I will answer it. It does take me a minute, but I will do it. And also be prepared for the stream tomorrow at 7:30, because we will do, unless I get a storm again, we're in storm season and I have a blackout or my internet goes out, we should have our stream tomorrow. So I love you guys. Have a good evening. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.